Well, good afternoon and welcome to Seattle's Eastside Real Estate Podcast. This is your go to source for all things related to living, working, and playing on the East Side. Today is Wednesday, March 30th, and we are live on Facebook and YouTube. Please feel free to smash the like bell, subscribe, and comment if you'd like. If you are watching one of our recorded versions, comments are welcome as well. You can also rate our podcast on Google Podcast and Apple Podcast, and we are also on Spotify and a few others. So please subscribe. Tell us what you think of our podcast. Hopefully you like it. Hopefully you love it. Hopefully we're providing you with great information. Today we're going to talk about a few things. And first off, we're going to have our Real Talk segment. Before that, we're actually going to be talking about some tips about buying now versus later with our good friend Tucker Maxwell of Guild Mortgage. But first, it's our Real Talk segment. 4 key tips for selling your house this spring. Now, one thing I want to get kind of started with is, a lot of people think that I can time the market just right, and the best time to sell is spring. And the truth of the matter is typically the most amount of buyers show up around the springtime. And what does that mean? Most amount of sellers show up in the springtime. So you can get a jump on that by timing it just a little bit early. Now, our first day of spring, I believe, was last Monday. So you're early in the spring process. But, one of the key attributes is when you're selling is to try and eliminate the competition. So by jumping on it early, you're able to thwart the competition while buyers are still out in mass. All right. So here's your first tip to taking advantage of selling your house in the spring, and that is make sure buyers get access. One of the biggest mistakes these days is that people are limiting access to the home. Now, we have a process, our 72 sold process, that actually narrows the showings down to a specific timeline. That's not the same thing as limiting access. Limiting access is when somebody decides that they're not going to allow unfettered access to their home. So you want to make sure that you have the highest amount of potential buyers through in the shortest amount of time. That's going to create some urgency. Number 2 tip, make your home look as good as possible. We've said this in a lot of different ways. We've talked about prepping the house from washing windows to using high definition, high resolution photos, providing 3D tours. But on the inside, it's really also about staging and depersonalization. And we've got experts that help lots of folks get their house ready to sell. And the tip there is don't count on me or don't count on your friend, but count on a professional that has an eye for what looks good. Now, I basically know the big, broad process. I know what I don't like, but I don't necessarily know how to put together something that I do like. That's why we have a ton of staging professionals, declutter experts that we offer up to our sellers whenever they're thinking about getting ready. Now, first impressions matter. Now, I don't know about you, but I love a parade, right? Where everybody's streaming down the street. There's the band, there's the gymnast, there's the karate, usually a karate club, and they're all coming down the street. Now, the people in Bothell, in Issaquah, they line up early for that parade, right? Well, first impressions matter. When it comes to selling your house, you want to have the best possible impression. Now, those kids that are a part of that parade, they practice religiously so that they can be on their best when it comes to first impressions on the parade. So for your home, it matters. Have it have a great first impression. One of my pet peeves in walking into a home is coming across a strange odor that seems unfamiliar. Now, that for me is a pet peeve and sometimes an automatic turnoff. I don't see anything else in the house, just the smell of spoiled milk. So, making sure that you work closely with your real estate professional to alleviate any potential owners that maybe your olfactory nerves are numb to, right? Because you've lived there. So, you want to make a good impression. Yeah, sour milk that really turns somebody off, and I would suspect most of you watching out there would know the smell of sour milk, but you never know. All right. Number 4, and probably the most important, is price it right. The important aspect here that we're talking about when selling your home in any market is to determine how your home compares in features and benefits to the buyer how your home compares to other homes in the same price bracket. The goal is to be the one that goes off the market each weekend. The longer your home stays on the market, the less you will get. So price it appropriately. Make sure that you're comparing your home to other homes that are on the market in the area and that have sold recently. You can't go back over 6 months. You can't go back even further than that. You actually need to stay focused on what is happening right now because the market is changing so much with interest rates fluctuating week over week. So the bottom line is everybody is selling their home and they want three things. They want to sell it for the most money they can. They want to do it in the shortest amount of time, and they want to do it with the fewest amount of hassles. The Eastside Real Estate team is here to help you with those goals. So if that's you and you're looking to get your homes sold this spring, let's talk. I'd love to help you. All right, so that's our Real Talk segment. After this short commercial break, we're going to talk about buyers and what they should be doing and what they should be thinking about in this season with this crazy market. Come back after this short break.